10 a.m. California time. I am here to answer questions, to encourage you, and to, help you advance on your spiritual path, whatever that may be. I am a devotee of Haidakhan Babaji. I have, um, I've been chasing or listening to him and following his guidance for many years now. It's 2022, and I first met him in 1997. He appeared for me. So um, it's been a long journey, and I can safely tell you that I'm not at the end, but I've gone far enough along that I recognize what's going on here and what we need to do. So, if you are interested in expansion, and expansion means increasing your ability to understand others and yourself and life. And with understanding comes acceptance and more love, which breeds more expansion. And the expansion and the love and the connection that we're looking for actually is not difficult to find. And in fact, um, we are already connected. In fact, connection is the wrong word because we are actually just one. Now, there's the experience of being separated, right? So, we're not actually talking about healing a separation. We're talking about healing the experience of being separated because it's actually a misinterpretation of the information. It's kind of like if I told you, you know, that car is red, and what you heard in your mind was, oh, carrots are not good to eat. Like it's just completely different. And here's an example, if you believe that you need to learn how to better connect with others, that is sabotage because there is no other. The reason we don't connect with people is that we think they are the other and that they are over there. And it's true that our experience is that. I mean, you can see that with your eyes, but the fact of the matter is that 99.9999999% or more of what you're looking at in the world is just empty void. There's nothing actually here. It's just a bunch of spinning energy bouncing off of itself, generating light and tension in order for us to experience ourselves as separate so that we can learn something about ourselves. Now, I am not interested in kind of popping you out of your life experience if you don't like it. What I am interested in is showing you how to pop yourself out, because a huge part of my path has been around personal power. And excuse me, I had long-term COVID and I'm still got post-nasal drip. So a big part of spiritual training isn't about learning new things. It's about unlearning, and bad's the wrong word. I'd say it's about unlearning incorrect beliefs. And one incorrect belief is that there are other people in the world. Now that's very hard to unlearn because our experience is that yes, there actually are a lot of other people in the world, and I can prove it to you. However, deeper than that, you have to go back, you don't have to do anything, but just, step back for a moment and recognize that if there's only one creator and that's all there is, then of course we're all one, right? Now, but our experience is that we're separate. So how do we unravel that? And that is what I've spent my life doing. And the piece of it that was most important to me to keep my eye on was go back to it, is the point of personal power. Because when and this is one of the most critical things, and maybe I should only talk about this today, but one of the most critical things I've learned about spiritual teachers is that a good spiritual teacher will teach you to be your own authority, right? That is a quality authority figure, somebody who will teach you to be your own authority. And that's what I'm choosing to do. I do not keep any secrets in my program. You learn everything I've learned so that you can do for yourself what I did for myself. There are a lot of poor or ineffective spiritual teachers in the world. Many of them are dictators. That means they just basically give dictation. They just want you to hear what they say and repeat it or believe it or not discuss it, not not question it for sure. But they usually claim some higher authority that you don't have access to, and they also will have levels, and they want to make sure that you're on a lower level than they are. Um, you know, that's a power vacuum, and it works. There are plenty of spiritual teachers who use that and claim the power from people beneath them, and it's real power. It's life energy, and they suck that up for themselves, and then they literally do become bigger than the rest of us because they are taking away their devotees' personal power. Now, not all gurus are like that, and some of them do it unconsciously. They think they're actually doing good, but they just don't understand that personal power is critical to spiritual advancement because, well, it's just obvious on its face. If there is no other, then there's nothing to give your power away to. So if you give your power away, you're not really giving it away to somebody else. You're just giving it away and giving it up. Now, there's not anything necessarily wrong with giving up power. I've certainly done it plenty of times. I've let things go that I could have impacted, and I chose not to because my standing wasn't high enough, I felt, to throw my 2 cents in. But if there is no other, and there's no one to give your power to, then wouldn't expansion include increasing your personal power? And increasing personal power doesn't necessarily mean becoming more causative. And it doesn't necessarily mean, becoming a bully or a spiritual gangster or even a spiritual warrior. It simply means having your sense of connection so grounded in who you are that you are only impacted by things that you choose to be impacted by. So right now, you might choose to be impacted by the fact that we're being threatened by nuclear annihilation by a madman on the other side of the planet. So it'd be pretty easy if you start thinking about that too much and start wondering what could happen and start measuring and comparing what life used to be like compared to this. And oh my gosh. And you start thinking about, oh man, I played Fallout 3 and Fallout 4, and I hope my imagination isn't creating this future that I don't like. It's all okay. Whatever's going on in this world, recognize that this world is less than 0.0000000000001% of reality. Most of reality is an empty void. It's just empty. If you take an atom and you blow it up to the size of the earth, magnify it to the size of the earth so that you can look at it, the nucleus is literally the size of a grapefruit down there in the center. And the electrons, when they are solid, are about the size of cherries spinning around the outside. And when they're everywhere at once, they're like as thin as nothing that you can see, spread out across the entire face of the earth at sea level. Everything else is just void. It's literally empty space. So what do you choose to occupy? Would you like to be part of the empty space that is big and expansive and knows all? Or do you want to be aligned with that little small physical part that actually just creates a lot of problems? So there's a lot to unpack on a spiritual path, and most of it is a lot of fun. Some of it, like finding out that we were wrong when we believed that we weren't connected, unraveling that belief, if you've got it all wrapped up in knots about how you are distinct and different from everybody else, like that takes a little bit of work to unravel. But that doesn't mean it's hard. It doesn't mean it has to be painful. One of my greatest teachers, maybe my greatest in-a-body living teacher, who's no longer living, but Patrick Collard, well, there's lots of little Collardisms, But he loved to say that drama does not release trauma. And, that's another way to find a bad spiritual teacher is they want to get into a bunch of drama to get you to run a bunch of energy to think that you're healed when you're not in your drama anymore. But that doesn't actually work. It might appear to get results, but, we can talk about real results sometime when you call in. Drama does not release trauma. And why is that? Well, that's because drama is a story that's in the past, right? And the trauma is also in the past, but maybe the drama is happening right now, but the trauma is a long time ago. And so there's this time gap. It's like a time sandwich, maybe, or time is the bread and what's in the middle is who knows what. Drama does not release trauma. Releasing trauma means, you let go of the trauma. So how do you let it go? You don't let it go by hyperventilating. You don't let it go by crying for days. You don't let it go by, spreading your heart out to a bunch of strangers and feeling very vulnerable. And that itself can be very traumatic. Letting things go, it's just about not holding on anymore. And we've been holding on for so long that we forget we're holding on. And it's just like this, it's like it's holding on in the background. We don't even realize we're doing it. But once your attention goes to the right place and you recognize, oh, I'm holding right here, then you can let your hand go. It's truly that simple. I'm here to encourage whatever spiritual training you're doing, if it's helpful. And also I'm here to encourage you to try my training, which I call Your Body Never Lies. It's a body language oriented spiritual training, which you'll find at theyybnlcollege.com or yourbodyneverlies.org. Anyway, we've been going about 15 minutes right now. There are a couple of people watching, so if you have a question, feel free to chat it in. Next week, I will have a telephone and I will post the phone number up on the board here. So you'll be able to call in. Your voice will not be on video. I'm doing that so I can not broadcast any trolls. But if you have a question or a comment, I will simply repeat it and respond live here on video. And I don't have anything else to say unless someone jumps in with a question. I guess I could say I've got a lot of videos here. I've shared some of my stories with some of my teachers. The most popular one is a story I tell about my first time meeting Guru Maya, which I looked at the other day and saw I've got over 4,000 views, which I'm absolutely shocked. Guru Maya is not my main teacher, but I think she's pretty cool. She has this Om Namah Shivaya CD that I used to listen to that was recorded in 96. And there was also a video, I think. I wish I had the video still. I used to listen to that 3-4 times a day, and I mean for months. So I totally love her. Don't know what's up with City Yoga right now. I've not been there or interacted with that crowd in a long time. But anyway, I've got a lot more stories to tell. I've shared maybe 15 or 20% of the fantastic stories I have. And I would like to do more, and I'll probably do that soon. So I don't see any chat questions, and you can tell by my hair that this is kind of an early morning for me. Thanks a lot for joining in. I hope to see you next Friday. On Saturdays, I also do another live stream video, and that is for the college. And that is if you are taking my Your Body Never Lies play shop. You can call in with questions about that. If you're interested in trying that workshop, it's on my other channel, which is youtube.com/free of limits. You just find it here by clicking on channels or whatever. But do that play shop playlist. It's a series of videos. Go through it. When you have a question, come Saturday, ask a question. If you have a question about spiritual training in general or any of my teachers and my crazy stories, come to this channel, because I feel, and I've noticed just from my years of training, that there's one crowd that really wants the spiritual stories and wants to get all happy and wowed out and all cheat out, with these wild stories about amazing things. And then there's another crowd that just wants to do the spiritual training and get better and feel better about their own life. So if you are in both camps, then come to both channels. And if you want to, you can advance yourself spiritually just by hearing stories, tuning in, and then looking for those stories in your own life. That's one way to train yourself. It's not for everybody, though. Some people need a more structured environment, which is what I provide at the college. And I think it's very effective. And if you have any questions, I still don't see a chat. Although, in all fairness, I haven't been doing live streams very long, and I'm not even sure that I can see the chat or if I'm doing it right. So anyway, the phone will be here next week. It's on order. It'll be here. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to talking to you. Have a great weekend. And, ponder this week what questions you could possibly want to ask me, and just assume that I know everything. Because if I don't know something, I will certainly tell you. But the other side of this is that my teachers have told me that the best way to learn at this point for me is to teach. So your questions help me advance personally. So I really do appreciate them. Don't hold back. Don't worry about being on video. It's just going to be a phone call, and only I will hear your voice. And I won't even check caller ID. Like, I could care less. All right. Have a great weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow, I hope to see you next Friday. And if you haven't been here yet, if you're watching this as a re-recording or pre-recorded, just come in on Friday. I will tell you whatever I can about any teachers I've ever met or about my experiences. Anything that would be helpful and not detrimental to your advancement, I will share. All right. Have a great day. And now I got to figure out how to end this. All right. Ciao.